and congratulations, you just won your game against Sergei Movsisyan to move to 5.5 out of 6. This one, it's still nice and bright, so you won it quite quickly. What happened?
Yeah, I actually was very unhappy with the starting position that we got because I felt that it is both quite dangerous for black and also kind of difficult to get some kind of unbalance if I really need it. Because, you know, I gave away already 1.5 points, so if I want to fight for a top spot, I kind of had to win that game. But yeah, I think he just made some huge errors in calculation, playing bishop c5 after b6, going back, allowing rook e8, when kind of after less than 10 moves his position was somewhere between very bad and lost. So yeah, that was kind of very unexpected, especially since the games before I had to fight very hard and didn't even manage to win. But yeah, it's a nice change.
I mean, the score is still good, but you mentioned the 3 draws where probably in all 3 games there was room for more.
Yeah, especially the first one. Like, basically, if I make one other move, I would just win. But after that, he played really, really well and defended nicely. But yeah, also yesterday against Rasmus, it was, you know, I felt that I kind of outplayed him in the middle game and got that edge and maybe even a winning position, and then not converting that was, of course, a pity.
You won Weissenhaus in February, then just before this you played in Paris. How does it compare to playing this giant open Swiss tournament rather than a closed round robin and knockout?
Yeah, it's completely different, of course, because basically there you're fine with draws. Here, even when playing strong players above 2600, I can't really play symmetrical. Like, if I want to fight for top spots, I will have to win most of my games also against these very strong players. So that's, of course, very tough. But on the other side, that's a very nice feeling. It's kind of similar to a Grand Swiss, I would say, but since there are like so many strong players at the top. But of course, first few rounds are way easier since there's also, yeah.
But there's so many upsets here, right? Even now, we're already at the late stages, the last third of the tournament. A lot of faces on the stage, not unfamiliar. They are, of course, very strong grandmasters, but a lot of the elite grandmasters are playing down from the stage. Do you think that freestyle leaves more space for surprises and upsets?
I'm not sure that's about freestyle, it might be more about the tournament, because simply you have these top players who...
They're not used to it?
Yeah, they're used to playing top level chess. I also had to make that change. Yeah, like both, and if you play the rapid or the knockout matches, you can play solid. And here, when you play solid, the opponent with white might just take a nice draw and be very happy about it. So I even had the feeling that the players who are at the top in between, they were of course very strong players, but they were not the ones playing solid chess, but also very fighting. So that again then gives also chances to win. So as usual in these tournaments, it's quite bad to be in like the upper midfield, because there are all the solid good players, but you either should really go very far forward, then you have the like very good but also very fighting players, which gives you more chances.
So far, while Magnus is still playing right now, he's been dominating on 6 out of 6. The good news for everyone else is Magnus is already qualified for Vegas, so there is still one spot up for grabs. What will it take, you think, in the last 2 rounds tomorrow to fight for that spot?
Yeah, I mean, anything else than 2 out of 2 is out of the race, I think. Yeah, so I don't think that there's a real chance that someone with 7 out of 9 will take a spot that's not qualified yet. I mean, Fabi, I think, also is qualified. So,
I think so.
If he goes up front, so basically for us, of course, we can hope that the pre-qualified players are like crushing everybody else, so that then you have better chances. But no, I would really assume that 7.5, and I also do believe that with 7.5 you will share that spot, but of course then it will depend on tiebreakers and so on.
Let's talk about the tournament a little bit. Do you know how many times you've played here in Karlsruhe?
I think I played 17, 18, 19, 24 in this time, so it should be my 5th time.
28, of course. 2018, of course, a special memory to you when you won the Big Open. I was lucky enough to be working here for that. I remember you were a lot shorter than you are now. Is it a special feeling for you to play here in this hall?
Yeah, always. I mean, it's still a moment that's quite imprinted in my memory, because yeah, as far as important moments in my career go, that's certainly one of the most important ones. So And yeah, actually the atmosphere is still very similar. So even though a lot has changed in those past years also in chess, but this tournament still has that same kind of flair and atmosphere, which I really like.
And do you think the fact that the freestyle, that it brings a breath of fresh air in a sense into the event?
Of course, it changed the playing field quite a bit. I mean, before we had the top tournament on the stage and then there was a strong open, but at the top it wasn't as thorough as it is now. Like now we have 7 players being seated on board 20 or something like that. Yeah, that's still quite new, and I think it's great. So it also shows that there's a lot of interest for such tournaments. So I think having these open freestyle tournaments with classical time control is amazing.
And of course, a lot of home fans. You are Germany's top player. You always have to sign a lot of autographs, take a lot of selfies. But do you appreciate the fans showing up in such big numbers?
Yes, of course, it's great. I mean, I have to admit that when having played a long game, I'm very tired and sometimes not in the mood to take time for everyone. But in general, of course, it's very motivating to see the happiness and the enthusiasm for this tournament and chess, and also me.
Well, Vincent, it's so nice to get to interview you here again. Congrats again on the win. All the best for tomorrow. And that's it.
Thank you.